Welcome into the show.
On a Tuesday.
Yeah, it should be a good show today. I'm excited. We have a guest coming up later here in the 4 o'clock hour. And we have some stuff to give away today.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, we're going to have a fun show today. We're, like you said, we've got some Kelsey Ballerini tickets to give away. Maybe we'll give away some big shots. Time down at the Bay. Have some food. We got some of that stuff to give away as well.
Kelsey Ballerini tickets, big shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot. A whole stash.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what we give away today. We'll have some fun, though. We'll have some fun with it. So make sure you're staying tuned in here. And don't forget to subscribe to YouTube and watch us on YouTube as well.
You will be able to see that I am clean shaven.
Yeah, so this is the first time we've been on stream since our trip.
Yeah.
And since you shaved.
Yeah. And when's yours coming off?
I do need to trim it back. It's not coming off.
Ever?
No, it's not coming off.
No?
Not anytime soon. There's a certain somebody who likes the beard.
Okay.
So it stays. I like the beard.
Well, I like it too.
It stays because I like it.
And I liked it on me too, but I like to change it up a little bit though too.
Every time I see myself clean shaven, I'm just like, ugh.
Really?
Yeah, I just don't like it.
I think we said this yesterday, but Landon saw it for the first time off me, and he says, "Oh yeah, you need to grow it back."
Yep.
But
yeah,
I don't think so.
That's how I am with my own facial hair. I look at myself in the mirror, and I'm just like, yeah, that's gross. I gotta do something about that. Luckily, you know what? It always grows back.
Oh,
there's few consistents in life.
Yeah,
and that's one of those that is always constant.
Before we jump into sports,
okay,
I ran across this 1990s skills that are basically obsolete.
Okay.
What are some of the skills that you think back in 1990 that are just obsolete now? Can you think of anything off the top of your head? I know I'm throwing this at you, kind of, tossing this on you, but anything you can think of? I've got the list here.
I off the top of my head, I'm drawing a major blank. I have no idea. But the second you start naming stuff, I'm going to be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, here's one that I totally remember from the 80s, and apparently it did go into the 90s as well. Remember, you would get a textbook from school, and you would take that said textbook, like a math book or a English book, or didn't matter, and you would take it, it's a hardcover, and you would take it and wrap it in brown paper bag.
That is the thing people did.
Yeah, and we would draw on it, kind of make it your own, personalized. You remember that, Caden? Were they still doing that when you were?
No, when I was a kid, do you know what we had? We would, for our textbooks, you'd go to like Walmart or something, and then they would have these little stretchy fabric covers that you would put on all of your textbooks, and they came in all sorts of different styles.
So that kind of replaced the brown paper bag.
It replaced the brown paper bag, and we had
sound
really
as fun, though.
Stretchy. Yeah,
because we could draw on ours.
Oh, we still drew on ours.
Oh, you could.
You could do it with like a marker or something. You can't like colored pencil like you could on paper.
Yeah.
But people would still draw on theirs. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's one of those lost skills. I wouldn't even know where to begin with that to do that for sure. How about this one? Giving the old TV a karate chop to fix the reception. Ever do that up in Enterprise?
I wouldn't chop it, but I mean, I definitely smacked a TV or two for sure.
Okay, here's one. Remembering phone numbers.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually pretty good at remembering phone numbers. Or used to be.
Even right now.
I used to be. Now I can't do it. I don't even know my wife's phone number.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, this is the skill that's obsolete now.
Yeah, no, I can't anymore.
I can still remember my growing up phone number at my, the house that I grew up in.
Oh, so do I, but
673-5573. I don't know whose number that is now. Don't dial it. But that was the number that I grew up with.
All right.
My mom's work number was 673-9616. My dad's work number was 673-6346. I can remember these numbers, but
I grew up.
I can't tell you the work number here at Canyon Media.
I don't know if I could. I can barely tell you my own cell phone number most days.
I know.
I still get that wrong.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's definitely a skill that is going obsolete. Now, here's a funny one. You know, when you're going, either you're checking out at a store or you're going through. I notice it more when I'm going through a fast food drive-through.
Okay.
And let's just say that the amount was $9.91, and you hand them a $10 bill and one penny.
So you get the 10 cents
Yeah.
back?
So you get it, but people look at you like you just handed them a live grenade. They're like, what do I do with this?
When I was in high school, when my senior year of high school, I was a cashier at the grocery store up in Enterprise.
Yeah.
The tiny little grocery store up there. And I loved it when people would do that because I was like, man, I don't want to have to count out 9 cents.
Oh, totally.
I don't want to count out 9 cents. I'd rather just be like, here's your dime.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was always a pleasure to me, for sure, to have somebody that'd be like, here's a 10 and a penny. And then it was easy change.
Yeah, for
easy
sure.
change. But you're right. Sometimes the math is hard for some people.
Yeah. And we try to make it easy. I mean, that was the deal of making that easy. All right, just a couple more. Using the Dewey Decimal System at the library.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Honestly, I don't even know what the Dewey Decimal System is. I can't remember that at all. I remember it, but I can't remember how it was used or anything like that. Last one, and Macy and I were talking about this past weekend because we were down in L.A. Lots of freeways, lots of things going on.
Yep.
But a lost skill from the 90s is refolding a map and how to even use a map. Like seriously, we were talking about this as we were leaving Dodger Stadium or going to Dodger Stadium. I can't remember. And, we have the GPS obviously pulled up and using it. And it's like, how did we get around back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s? GPS and the mapping systems finally started to come out probably at the turn of the century. That sounds like forever ago.
Yeah. But even then...
And I remember printing out the MapQuest.
I was going to say, even then we used MapQuest.
Yeah, the directions, like printing them out.
Oh, I do too. I remember my family, we went on this trip to Southern California it was about 2005, 2006, somewhere around there. And we just had a stack of MapQuest papers. Yeah. And I remember we were going to my aunt's house, who none of us had been to her house, and it was out in Palos Verdes, California, so on the coast. So we had to drive through all of Southern California, basically, all of that mess of a city to get to her house. And we didn't know where we were going. We were just, following MapQuest, being like, well, it says to take a right at this road, so we're just kind of counting the mile markers just so we didn't miss it.
Station wagon from Enterprise, right?
Yeah. Well, it was a car.
Okay.
We had a car then.
Anyways, we were talking about that while we were using GPS, and it's like, wow, it has really changed, certainly how we get around, and it's so much easier to get around. Then it'll give you options if there's accidents or traffic, all that kind of stuff, like faster routes and things like that.
Imagine being in a city you've never been in before, and you just want to go get a bite to eat, right?
Yeah.
Before it'd be like, all right, let's go find a main road somewhere and drive till we find a restaurant that looks good.
Right.
Now it's just like, man, I'm feeling Taco Bell. Where's the closest Taco Bell?
Yeah.
You just put it in your phone.
I know. Dude, it's
different world.
Anyways, those are some lost skills that, this generation, Gen Z, just has no idea of the world that we lived in.
That's true. Well, speak for yourself a little bit on that, because I didn't live in it long.
Yeah, it's true. That is so
I've
true.
I've had GPS almost my entire adult life. So, yeah, I'm not going to complain.
Yeah. You had internet pretty much your whole life.
Yeah, I mean, really, for the most part. I didn't have it when I was like a little kid, but I had it when it mattered.
Here, again, I am a person of a certain age. I used to have newspaper clippings that I would hang on my wall.
Really?
Yeah. I used to have to wait until the newspaper came out, because really ESPN was in its infancy as well. I mean, if you didn't have cable or satellite. You didn't even have that. I mean, you had to wait until the next morning to see if the Dodgers won or the Raiders won or Lakers, whoever your team is. Okay, I'll go Jazz, Broncos, and I don't know. But anyways, yeah, you had to wait to see who won. It's like or you had to wait for the newspaper to come out.
Yeah.
Literally.
That's true. Hey, speaking of going back to the 90s, okay? We're going back to the 90s. At least it feels like we are.
We are?
We are in two ways, and they both have to do with the Utah Jazz. Number one, the Vivint Arena is now Delta Center.
Karl Malone and John Stockton are coming out of retirement?
I hope not. Not that I don't love them. They just, let's be honest, that's probably not a good thing. But the Jazz this morning announced a new media deal. So we're going back to K-Jazz. Going back to the good old K-Jazz days. The Jazz games are now going to be live on K-Jazz.
That makes sense.
It does make sense. So if you have any sort of a TV subscription, or even if you just have the old school antenna.
Yeah.
Like I say, we're going back to the 90s.
Wow.
You could go to Home Depot and go get yourself antenna which by the way, I had one of these when I was in college as a way to just because I actually got it because the Olympics were on and I kind of wanted to watch them.
Yeah.
And it was a good way to just get satellite channel or not satellite
free TV.
Channels, free TV.
Yeah.
I went to Home Depot, $30. I got an antenna that I could just slap in the window and hook up to my TV. And guess what? K-Jazz is one of those channels.
Right.
So if you want a cheap way to get the games, that's a good way to do it. They are also going to have an app. It's called SEG Media, S-E-G Media. That app is also going to be the home of the Utah Jazz. So if you are more into streaming, you can do that. I've heard a few ideas of what they think that's going to cost because the app will be subscription based. I've heard around $20 a month would be the subscription to have not just your Jazz games, but also some more behind the scenes media and stuff like that. So they're going to really give you some in-depth looks at the team, at the players, at that kind of stuff, and do more documentary style things and give you a lot more content through that app. So subscribing to the app will have its own benefits. So that's kind of where the TV deals are at right now with the Utah Jazz. I know that a lot of teams are because regional sports media is kind of a dying breed right now, that they're going to more direct to consumer from the team to the consumer, and they're doing it through K-Jazz again. So
that's cool.
They've partnered up with KUTV, who owns K-Jazz.
That is good news. It makes sense.
Yep, it makes a ton of sense, and I think it's going to be really exciting. I think most people that I've heard from, if not even all the people that I've talked to about this, are excited about this.
Yeah.
It is really good.
I think because everybody will be able to get it as well.
Yeah,
correct?
It doesn't matter if you have Dish or DirecTV, because that's the problem was they took AT&T Sportsnet off of Dish, and so Dish viewers couldn't have it. Right. So I don't think it'll matter what you have, YouTube TV or DirecTV, the stream, or a Dish or whatever. It doesn't really matter.
Right.
Everyone can watch games.
I think that's the frustrating part about TV and sports is, when you live in those regions and your team is in that region, you get all the blackouts where you can't watch your own team, and you live, say you're 4, 5, 6 hours away from that particular team, and yet they're punishing you just because of where you live and all that kind of stuff. We're to a point now where with technology and sports, streaming, all of that kind of stuff, that, you should be able to watch your team anytime that you want. I'm not saying that it should be free, but you should be able to watch it no matter what. Doesn't matter what streaming platform you have. I mean, it should be just a la carte. Like if I want to watch, all of the Dodger games or all of the Laker games or Jazz games or what have you, with technology, we should be able to buy that. Even if you do purchase it, I don't even care, but everybody should have access to it and no blackouts. If I'm paying for that subscription or that team,
Right.
I shouldn't be subject to blackout.
Well, and so that's actually one of the big questions that I have and a lot of people have. We don't have the answers for this yet, or at least in the research I've done, I haven't seen an answer on this. With the app that they're coming out with, we don't know if that app is only available in Utah or if I am traveling and say I'm in Texas, okay? Am I in a blackout and I can't use the app? I don't know. Do I need to then get an NBA League Pass subscription? That's where some questions are coming in. So people are asking those questions, and those are valid questions. I don't know the answers to that. If you are outside of Utah, can you use that app? I would hope the answer is yes. I'd hope they'd say, yeah, and you just bypass League Pass.
Yeah.
And maybe the NBA gets some sort of a cut of those profits to at least make up for that. I don't know. But, I mean, if I'm a fan of a team and sometimes I'm in Utah, sometimes I'm not. So, if you live in Utah, but let's say you travel a lot for work or something, you want an option where you only have to pay for one thing, not to have to pay for League Pass and the subscription.
How much is League Pass? Do you remember?
If you want the entire league, League Pass, that's like $120
for
a season.
For a season. So if you break that down,
I think at one point it was like $200, but they dropped prices because people stopped.
And that's where I'm going to. Just bear with me for a second. And so, how long is the basketball season? How many months is it? October.
You're basically going if it's because once the playoffs hit, everything's on national TV, so it's kind of done. So I'd say through April.
7 months.
Yeah, October through April, it's 6 months.
Okay. So if you broke that down, 120 divided by 6, you do the math.
120 divided by 6 is $20.
Okay, $20. So $20 a month, you get all the whole package, right? For the $120.
Is that correct? I don't know if that's right. That sounds right.
But for the $120 package, $20 a month for the 6 months. What would you pay to have a Jazz app like you're going to get, where you can just watch every Jazz game? Like, how much would you pay individually?
Yeah, honestly, $20 is probably fair. Because if I'm getting League Pass, I'm watching the Jazz. I'm watching my team.
Right. But just to centralize on the Jazz, would you pay $10 a month? $15 a month?
I mean, 15 to me would be like a comfortable payment for just the Jazz games. 10 would obviously be fantastic. I wouldn't be surprised if they push it to 20. I would be happier with 10 to 15.
And that's what I'm saying. So if you were able to do an a la carte basketball, pick your team. Mm-hmm. Say I want to watch the Lakers again, get into basketball as heavy as I used to, watch the Lakers every game. I can buy the Lakers app, $15 a month. Don't you think subscriptions would go up? And say the NBA gets $5 of that $10, whatever. But don't you think subscriptions would go up? You just mentioned they lowered the price from $200 to $120, probably because of price. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Don't you think subscriptions would skyrocket?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too.
Well, so here's something interesting.
And again, but when I pay that, you can't black me out.
Yeah. Here's something interesting. Here's a thought. Fun little exercise for us now. The people that are going to go and watch, and let's say it's DirecTV stream or YouTube TV or something, and they're paying $80 a month to watch all channels, not just your sports channels. We're talking the Discovery Channel and Disney and ABC and TNT and Fox News, and I don't know, a little bit of everything, right? They're paying $80 a month. How much of that cut is going towards just the people that are over Jazz basketball, the NBA and the Utah Jazz? How much of that cut are they getting? Really none.
Yeah.
That's going to DirecTV. That's going to Dish. That's going to wherever. They'll get the advertising dollars. Here's the thing. When they have their own app, not only are they getting all of the advertising dollars, but now they're getting all of the subscriptions as well. So they're actually making even more money because people are subscribing. It almost doesn't matter what they charge for subscriptions because they're getting their money in advertising anyways, like they used to in the past.
Yeah.
But now they're also getting money off of subscriptions. So they're making even more money just by having it as an option.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, they are. They're not. I at least that's how I understand the business of TV to work. I could be wrong, but to me it sounds like they're making even more money just by doing the subscription service at all.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant.
Well, and I've told this story before on the show here, but as an MLB extra innings subscriber to the MLB, I can't watch games when the Dodgers are playing the D-backs or when they're in Arizona or when they're in Denver. And I'm like, this is wrong on so many levels that not only am I in one market, I'm in two markets. And that has always frustrated me so much because, put me in one market, okay. But you know what? I pay for MLB extra innings. I don't even think there should be blackout restrictions at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm paying, just like going to a stadium, I'm paying for a ticket.
Yeah. And I understand
It's frustrating.
I understand in some ways, in a slight way, because I'm with you. I hate blackout zones. I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit. I understand being blacked out for Colorado because we do get those games on our TVs here. It makes absolutely zero sense to be blocked out for Diamondback games. We do not get their channels here in Utah.
Unless you order Arizona West Fox or something like that.
But who's going to go and
I know.
tack that on, and
Right.
then their prices go up on their
They
subscriptions.
Yeah.
By however much a month because you want to add one channel because you're a Diamondback fan. Or you go get League Pass and just watch all the games anyways there. Right? I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. It does not make any sense.
And with the technology we have, it's so simple.
I know.
Put it back into the team's hands.
It's so overly complicated.
Yes.
Because the problem is you have the NBA as a whole, the NFL as a whole, the MLB as a whole is trying to get a chunk of that changed. And I get it. They want to make their money too. But how hard would it be to strike up a deal with every individual team and say, hey, you guys can each do individual streams or whatever, but we get a 20% cut or whatever. I'll let them
whatever
decide
it
the
is.
percentages.
Yeah, whatever it is.
But that leaves the consumer's hands completely out of it.
Yeah.
Everything is done behind the scenes. The consumer has a better experience. But no, it's not like that.
Advertisers will have more eyeballs on their banner ads or their videos or
On everything.
On everything. It's a win-win.
Because people are more willing. People are more willing to subscribe to those things if they know, hey, it doesn't matter where I'm at because there are no blackout zones.
Yeah.
I think
So
there's ways to fix it.
NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, all you pro sports organizations, if you want somebody to fix your TV and streaming markets and products, just talk to me and Caden. We have it all figured out.
We're the guys.
And there'll be more money in everybody's pocket and all the consumers will be happier.
And I want a 2% cut for coming up with the idea.
I just want free streaming for life.
I'll take the 2% cut.
I'll take 2% as well.
All right, let's head to a break. We got more coming back, so stick around with us here on From the Bleachers. Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show, From the Bleachers, live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine, not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Welcome back in, everybody. It's From the Bleachers here on the Fan Sports Network. Caden Formaster and Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
Welcome back into the show, everybody. Mark, you put a question out on YouTube, and we want people to respond on YouTube. So I want our listeners interaction.
Problem is we don't have a picture side by side. That's what we should have done. But you know, if you watch the show, and I don't know,
I'm sure we've seen some social media posts or something.
Yeah, you can, go to my social media. You can go to the Fan Sports Network social media, and I'm sure find a picture of me with a beard.
Yeah. Well, the question, that is the question. You can go answer on our YouTube stream. We're live right now. It's basically, should Mark grow the beard back? Right?
Beard or no beard?
Beard or no beard? Plain and simple.
Right now my plan is to have this moneymaker right here kind of the way it looks right now until November, until
No Shave November comes
No
around,
Shave
huh?
November.
All right. We'll see if anyone agrees with you.
I think the beard takes away from my eyes. I don't like that.
If you say so.
It does.
Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. So anyways, we got that going on today. Coming up in the next segment, though, we're going to be chatting with Las Vegas Aviators play-by-play guy.
Matt Everett.
So that's going to be fun. Talk to him. We talked to him a few weeks ago.
Yep.
So we're going to talk to him about minor league baseball, some of the prospects right now in that system, and kind of just baseball in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
It's a hot topic right now, baseball in Las Vegas. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So
we'll be giving away some Aviator tickets probably later on this week. We'll give away some Aviator tickets for next week's homestand against Round Rock.
Yeah, they're on the road this week out in Oklahoma City. So
taking on the Dodgers of Oklahoma City.
Yep, which the Bees were just out there.
Yeah,
not all that long ago.
Two similar teams. The Aviators are 6-6 in their last 12 games. The Oklahoma City Dodgers are 6-5 in their last 11 games. They had a game that was canceled, I believe, against the Bees due to weather.
Yeah, it was.
So they didn't get all of 12 games in. But
yep.
But yeah, so it should be a good matchup this weekend. We'll ask Matt about that and about the pitching matchup tonight. And then some other questions, too, that we've kind of, looked around and see if we can't throw those at him.
Yeah.
Some other questions.
It'll be fun. Speaking of baseball, man, it's right now we're really diving into the dog days of summer, huh?
Oh, my gosh, man. It's not as hot as the Cincinnati Reds are, though, right now.
Dude, what is it with the Reds being first in the NL Central now?
They have won 9 straight. They're the hottest team in baseball, no question about it.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And who would have thunk it?
Dude, do you know what? It's Ellie De La Cruz. He's got it. He's got to be the hottest rookie right now.
No question.
I mean, because he was, as far as prospects go, they knew he was going to be good. And, this is one thing I will never understand with baseball. Why are they waiting so long to pull some of these guys up?
Yeah,
What are they waiting for?
I don't know.
I feel like that's
And we'll
the
ask Matt that. We'll ask
that's
Matt
the
that.
answer. Is sometimes it's like, what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Why are you waiting to bring this guy up? 'Cause
Yeah.
someone like Ellie De La Cruz, he comes in and makes an impact immediately.
He is this year's Julio Rodriguez.
Yeah, he just comes in, he turns it on, and
Yeah.
it's like, whoa, this dude's got it.
Mm-hmm.
He's so fun to watch. He's fast.
Yeah.
Yesterday he hit a ground ball to third, and should be a routine out to
Routine
first.
out. Yeah.
And he beats it. He's
Mhm.
just. It looked like and again the camera follows the ball, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, routine out. No, he beat it.
Mm.
Like full stride beat it. It wasn't like boom boom. It was a full stride. He beat it. I'm
Yeah,
like,
and
"Jeez."
there's just certain players that when they come up, they can just change the whole atmosphere of the team in the clubhouse, on the field, everything. And he has certainly done that with the Reds,
Yeah,
just like Julio did last year with the Mariners.
that's right. Joey Votto's back as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw that news,
I
but
didn't.
Joey Votto is available. I don't know if he's played yet, but I know that I saw that he's back and available. So, but yeah, the Reds are killing it, which is a team that I was not expecting to be talking about as much this year as I feel like media has. They are an exciting and fun
Yeah.
team to watch.
San Francisco's won 8 straight. That
Yeah.
hurts a little bit.
That one's a little strange.
That one hurts a little bit.
They're
too.
in second, I believe, right?
They are.
Behind the Diamondbacks, which also feels weird.
Yeah, 3.5 games behind the Diamondbacks there in the National League West. Looking for some other hot teams. Really, nobody in the American League is really hot. I mean, Texas has won 3 straight. That's it, man. It's all happening in the National League right now. You've got Atlanta. They've won 6 straight. Miami's won 5 straight. Philadelphia's won 6 straight. Cincinnati, obviously, we covered them already, talked about them. They've won 9 straight. Giants 8 straight. I mean, look at these win streaks in the National League going on right now, man.
Yeah, it's insane.
It
is insane.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, and you look at the Angels, who have not, over the last few years have not been great, and they started off the season kind of slow, but right now they're in a wild card position ahead of the Astros. And we all know how good the Astros were last year. The Astros just aren't. They're not there yet this year. They're just not there.
Right now, their last 10 games, the Angels are 7-3, and just reverse that with the Astros. They're 3-7 in the last 10 games. So definitely the Angels kind of making a move or moving their way up that ladder. And, even as a Dodger fan, I do enjoy the Angels, and I hope for the American League, I would love to see Mike Trout in the postseason, Shohei Ohtani in the postseason before he becomes a Dodger. And, it would just be good for baseball. It'd be good for Mike Trout for sure. He's, again, still a great player, one of the best. And before he hits the back nine, maybe he's making the turn right now. I don't know. But it would be so good for baseball, so good for the Angels, so good for Mike Trout if he can be in the postseason.
Good for Shohei as well. I mean,
but Shohei still got, I was going to say, Shohei still has a career ahead of him. And he's not, I'm sorry, Angels fans, he's not going to be an Angel next year. He will be wearing some other colors, whether it's Yankee pinstripes, Dodger blue. It will be something other than the halo.
I've heard he really does not want to play for the Yankees.
You know what, though?
I could be wrong.
Billions of dollars change your way of thinking sometimes.
Oh, yeah, money talks.
I mean, a $700 million contract, which is totally doable.
Especially for a guy like him, because nobody's like him.
Yeah, nobody's like him. He's an ace pitcher, plus he's a power hitter. I mean, we haven't seen anything like him since really Babe Ruth.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if you're going to pay an ace pitcher, give him a $300 to $350 million contract, and you're willing to give a power hitter like an Aaron Judge or, name the power hitter, if you're willing to give them a $350 to $400 million contract, why can't you do the investment in one player? Now, it does make it a little bit more risky if he does get injured, because now you're down not just a power hitter, now you're down one of your pitchers as well. But I could totally see a $650, $700 million contract.
Yeah, it's very possible.
It'll be groundbreaking.
Well, and Shohei could end up being one of those where even if he does get injured, maybe he steps away from one of the two. If it's an injury where he can still throw, then he'll throw, right? He just might not go and bat DH, right? Or vice versa. If he can't throw, but he can still hit, then they'll let him hit. He just won't pitch, right? So, I mean, there's still so much use around him, even if injury does happen sometimes.
Yeah.
It could be that way. So it's crazy, man. I don't know. The MLB's fun right now. And this year's shaking some things up a little bit. The Orioles are hot. They're up top, which when you look at where the playoffs are right now and you see Orioles and the Reds in that running and the Angels, who have not been there in a long time, it's hard to say the Angels just because they have so many talented guys that we feel like they should be there and they just never are. But still, it's interesting. The Rays are killing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a fun season so far.
Yeah.
We'll see how it all plays
No
out, though. I
question
mean,
about
it's going to flip flop, I'm sure. I guarantee you some of those teams are going to start dropping that are up in the top. So, going to be interesting. Should we take a break?
Let's do it.
We got a special guest joining us on the other side, so stick with us here as we got more coming back on the other side here on From the Bleachers.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show, From the Bleachers, live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine, not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Corns for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in Southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Welcome back in, everybody. It's From the Bleachers here on the Fan Sports Network. Caden Formaster and Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
And on the phone, we have the play-by-play announcer for the Las Vegas Aviators, Matt Neverett. Matt, how are you?
Hey, great to be back with you guys. Looking forward to getting into it. Been a great, almost first half of the season. We're nearly at the halfway point, and it's absolutely flown by.
Yeah, I'll bet it does kind of go fast. You know, the Aviators 6-6 in their last 12 games. The OKC Dodgers 6-5. They had a weather cancellation last week, but hey, we've got Kyle Muller on the bump for the Aviators, Montgomery for the Dodgers, two southpaws. Who does the advantage go to tonight?
Well, Kyle Muller's an interesting guy. He was actually Oakland's opening day starter in the major leagues. The opening day starting pitching matchup for Oakland read Muller versus some guy named Ohtani. So that's how.
Haven't heard of him.
Yeah, that's how his season started. He's since been optioned down. He is a 6'7" southpaw, as you had mentioned. Former number one prospect of the Atlanta Braves, so he's a guy who has had really high expectations. Hasn't quite exactly lived up to that as of yet. He's been about 4 starts, I believe, 4 to 5 starts with the Aviators, if I'm recalling correctly, and he's been pretty proficient and getting better each time. His last start, by far his best, 6 innings, gave up a run on 3 hits. Really has a cool repertoire of a 4-seam fastball, 2-seam fastball, changeup, slider, curveball. So he's got a little bit more in terms of the arsenal than a lot of guys that you'll see at this level. But he gives the Aviators a great chance to go out there and win every time he pitches. One other thing that he does is he eats up innings really well. He's durable for sure. And that's what they've needed. The Aviators starting pitching this year, averaging under 4 innings a start. So whenever they can get Kyle Muller out there to kind of stretch it out a little bit, it certainly gives them an advantage. Something also to keep an eye out as far as the pitching goes, Oklahoma City just called up 3 bullpen arms to the major leagues. The Dodgers' big league bullpen has been decimated by injuries all year long. So they actually just called up 3 Oklahoma City bullpen arms. So that'll be something to keep an eye on early in the series as well.
What can you tell us about this Oklahoma City team? What do their prospects look like? What's their AAA team like? Where are they kind of standing right now?
So this year in AAA, for the first time since 2006, they've gone back to a first-half champion and a second-half champion meeting at the end of the season as far as deciding who wins each individual league. And this year, the Oklahoma City team clinched the first-half championship probably almost a week and a half ago by now. They're the most dominant team in the Pacific Coast League. Potentially in all of AAA, they do a lot of things well, but because of the way that the big league team has been with the injuries and a lot of bereavement list trips and just kind of underperforming all the way around at the major league level for the Dodgers, this team has been interesting, and they got a ton of wins early. They were the first team in all of minor league baseball to 40 wins, which the Aviators have not eclipsed that mark yet. So they really started off about as hot as anybody in professional baseball. They've cooled down a bit, but they have clinched that first-half championship, so they are playoff-bound and are actually hosting a best-of-3 series at the end of the year out in Oklahoma City. So it's a team that is locked into the playoffs, but sometimes you'll find that a team that wins the first half, by the time they get to the end of September and the end of the regular season, they could have a completely different roster, and the motivation may not be there versus a team that just had to fight and scratch and claw to get their way in just a couple of days prior in the end of the month of September.
Now, speaking about a team that needs to scratch and claw for everything, let's talk about the Aviators for a second. Who should we rush to Las Vegas ballpark? Who should we rush and go see right now before they get called up to the big show?
Well, there's a couple of guys, top 3 prospects overall for the Aviators that I always tell people, they're always the first names I bring up. The Athletics' number 1 prospect is Tyler Soderstrom, catcher who's been playing some first base. Even his outs are long. He is a really smooth swing from the left-hand side. His dad, Steve Soderstrom, was a former first-round pick as well back in the day. And then Zach Geloff, who was the number 3 prospect in the system, the second baseman, out of Virginia. His brother Jake Geloff actually playing for the Virginia Cavaliers in the College World Series right now. Those are 2 of the position players to keep an eye on. One guy that's not a top prospect, and he's been up to the major leagues, and he's not currently on the 40-man roster, so for him to get called up to the major leagues would take some roster shuffling at the big league level. But Cody Thomas, and he's got a really, really interesting backstory. This is his 3rd year with the Aviators. He missed some time last year and a bit 2 years ago with a torn Achilles. So he's finally back to 100% this year, and he's the Pacific Coast League's leader in total bases, triples, RBIs, on-base percentage plus slugging. There's a good chunk of really, really high water offensive categories that he's leading the league in, and he's certainly knocking on the door. I think Cody Thomas is a guy that deserves to be called up. The reason he hasn't is because of the roster shuffling it would take to get him on the 40-man roster, but he was the fun fact that I love to throw out about him is that he was Baker Mayfield's backup the year that he won the Heisman at Oklahoma. So a two-sport athlete in college, really, really athletic guy.
Yeah, you kind of beat me to that. I was going to say he's probably leading the PCL in touchdown throws as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about it is, and it's not even really too much of a knock on him, is that he's got an average arm in the outfield at best, which you wouldn't really expect from a guy who was known for his arm on the gridiron.
Yeah. Now, he's 28 years old. That's kind of when I was looking at his stats and his profile, 28 years old. When does a minor leaguer, when are they on hole 817? And they end up, putting the clubs away or hanging the glove up.
Well, it's everybody's different. It's interesting to kind of take a look at the individual instances because, just to compare him to somebody who's on the team, Nick Allen was a third-round pick out of high school, got a $3 million bonus to buy him out of a commitment to University of South Carolina, whereas you got Cody Thomas, who was drafted out of college. He spent 5 years at college. He didn't get much of a bonus because of that, because there's nowhere else for him to go. It's something that not a lot of people really take into account is kind of where did they start? A guy like Cody Thomas really didn't get that big of a bonus. He was older when he came in. I think he was 21 or 22 years old when he came into professional baseball. So for some guys like that, the clock doesn't quite tick as fast. You have a little bit more time, them at 33 versus a guy who was drafted at 18, playing in minor league baseball at 33. There is a slight difference there. And the good thing is that with the new collective bargaining agreement, the first time ever that minor league baseball has had a collective bargaining agreement is this year. The big benefit is that these guys actually basically had their paychecks doubled. So it goes by level, the minimum salary. So a guy in AAA is making, I believe the number now is about $1,200 a week, which is, like I said, about double what it was prior. And, still not excellent money for a guy who didn't really get a bonus, but, certainly more of a livable wage. And so guys you're going to start seeing players lasting longer, if you will. You're going to start seeing more 33, 34, 35-year-old minor leaguers kind of holding on because they don't need to go get a job. It's what they're good at. It pays the bills. A lot of guys have their housing paid for nowadays too. So I think you're going to start to see a lot more of that. Those older players just kind of hanging around because the financial situations aren't necessarily as dire. But you always have to keep in mind the circumstance of when they came in the league, what their bonus was, and kind of what they had else on the table, whether it's going to college or going to indie ball, which there's a huge difference between that.
Yeah. So right now, Las Vegas has kind of been a hot topic when it comes to baseball, and a lot of that is more about the Oakland A's coming over, which obviously the Aviators feed into the A's program. What's kind of the buzz right now around the Aviators with that news over the last few months?
It's a unique circumstance for sure because we are affiliated with the Athletics as far as player development. They send us our players, they send us our coaches, but at the end of the day, realistically, that's about it. That's about the only tie between the Aviators and the Athletics. We're not owned by the Athletics. We're owned by Howard Hughes Corporation, who also owns the ballpark. So it's a unique circumstance to where we're kind of almost outsiders looking in on all this. We're not privy to any inside information that you couldn't go Google right now. So it's more so as a Las Vegas resident, the buzz is exciting. And as somebody who's from here originally, just seeing the sports landscape in this town change to where all of a sudden having, all 4 professional major sports leagues in town is certainly a viable option. And the thing is, too, guys, is even if it weren't the Oakland Athletics, it would be somebody. Vegas is ready for a Major League Baseball team, and it's just a matter of finding out the best way. With the Athletics, you've got a team that's, ready to go, motivated to get here now, but there's some issues on the back end as far as the financing and all the other stuff that's going through the state legislature. But on the other side, if you were to try to get an expansion team, which Major League Baseball has indicated that there will be expansion in the near future, you're talking 8 to 10 years down the line. This was the way that the state could get a team here quickly, which the brand new governor, Joe Lombardo, that was one of his goals, was to get a Major League Baseball team here, however, under whatever circumstances. So that's kind of the local buzz, and it'll be interesting to see kind of moving forward as far as what is required with the financing and kind of some of those smaller details that aren't as sexy, aren't as exciting, that'll really determine the future of the team and baseball in Vegas in general.
I'm going to backtrack for just a second. Tell us, from a minor leaguer's point of view, you're with these guys pretty much every single day. What is the life? What's a day in the life of a Tyler Soderstrom or Zach Gelliff where they could get called up at any time? Do they have a suitcase just ready to go when they get called up?
Yeah, the process behind the player transactions is fascinating, and if you are someone who's a big fan of one organization, I definitely suggest that you familiarize yourself with just how often there are player moves and what can kind of motivate and influence those. So for a guy like a Tyler Soderstrom, who is in an organization with the A's who pays for housing, which is a huge benefit, there's only a small handful of teams that don't do that at the minor league level now, which that combined with the new CBA, with the pay bump, has really made life a lot easier off the field for a lot of these guys, especially the ones without a big bonus, without a lot of help from home. The day in the life of a minor leaguer in general, though, is a lot more intensive than most people would think. You would assume for a 7 o'clock game they show up at 5, they get dressed, they stretch, and they get out there and play. But no, most of the guys are in the stadium and in some capacity working by about 1 to 2 p.m. Most days. I can say that batting practice starts right at about 4 on the field, but there's a good chunk of guys, maybe 5 to 7 every day, that are getting individual work either on the field defensively or in the batting cages underneath. Guys are getting treatment that entire time in the training room, doing the things they need to do to be able to activate, as they call it, and get your body ready for a pretty rigorous day of work and intensive exercise. And then at about 5 o'clock, the other team starts to hit. They'll go inside and stretch. They'll eat some dinner. Usually you'll see them back out on the field for a 7 o'clock game anywhere between 6:15 and 6:30, and then national anthem, and they get it going at 7. Post game, they got a dinner spread in the clubhouse, and they head home and they do it all again the next day. And as far as guys kind of getting sent up and down, again, it's just individual circumstances kind of dictate that. But I think a lot of these guys, especially those that have been moved around to different organizations and have been moved to different levels a lot, you'll find that those guys are the ones that don't have quite as much stuff. They're kind of always ready on the move, and you'll find that more with pitchers for sure than position players.
Have you ever been involved in a game? I hope I know the answer to this, but have you ever been involved in a game, where they pull a player off because he's been traded or called up?
Yeah, absolutely. That happens way more often than you would think, especially here at the AAA level. We had one during the beginning of this last homestand against Reno. Tyler Wade was playing third base, and he got pulled after 3 at-bats where he was 2 for 2 with a double and a walk. And, and that's not necessarily the weirdest thing. They had just called up a guy named Logan Davidson from AA Midland, who had been there for 3 years and had played first and third. And, the game was kind of a blowout at that point, and we had just assumed, they're going to get the new guy some action. He ended up having a good night offensively, and then come to find out about 2 hours after the game, I saw an email from the A's where Tyler Wade had been called up because there had been an injury. Kevin Smith had hurt his back during the game, and so they called it immediately. This is during the A's game. During the Aviators game, while they're both playing, somehow the communication was, hey, we need a shortstop. T. Wade's our guy. Check him out of the game right now and get him on a plane.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You're on what a lot of people call it hug watch in the dugout, because as soon as you see somebody going down, especially when it's their first call to the big leagues, they'll go down and get everybody, get hugs and daps and high fives and whatever. So you'll see people on social media talking about hug watch.
I love it. That's awesome. Matt, thanks for joining us, and go Aviators against the Dodgers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, get your tickets online at aviatorslv.com. The second half of the season starts on the 28th. They'll be taking on the Round Rock Express back here in Las Vegas, the AAA affiliate of the Texas Rangers.
And we will be giving away some tickets for that as well. So absolutely, there'll be some Southern Utahns down there for sure.
Absolutely. Come on out. It's still beautiful out here.
Yeah,
absolutely it is. All right, Matt, thanks again.
Anytime, guys.
Thanks, Matt.
Again, that was Matt Neverett out in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
getting ready to call a game between the Aviators and the Dodgers.
Yeah, so. Part of the broadcast crew for the Aviators, and they're taking on the Dodgers. I was looking too. The Dodgers nobody has more than them, but they are. In fact, it's the Dodgers and the Orioles. They have more top 100 prospects than any other team.
Yeah,
they both have 8.
Wow.
So their farm system is set up really well right now.
I love it.
And they need to bring them all up.
That's great.
And it doesn't surprise me that they called up a lot of the bullpen from the Oklahoma City team, because we were talking just earlier, the Dodgers bullpen right now, the Los Angeles Dodgers bullpen right now is not very good.
They need some help. They need some help.
Man.
All right, we got to get to a break, so stick with us here on the Fan Sports Network.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show, From the Bleachers, live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine, not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Corns for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in Southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Welcome back in, everybody. It's From the Bleachers here on the Fan Sports Network. Keaton Formaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
Welcome back into the show.
Hey, Caden, you say that I know you love Marvel
I do.
movies.
I do.
Do you like Star Wars? Are you a Star Wars nerd? I seem to think that you are.
I like Star Wars. I will say that I'm not fully caught up on the whole Star Wars universe with all the TV shows and
so
stuff.
maybe
they've been
you're
doing.
just
I'm a casual. I'm a
casual nerd.
Yeah, I'm a casual nerd. Casual Star Wars nerd.
I kind of am the same way.
Yeah,
I'm kind of the
I
same way.
like it. Like I do like it, but I'm casual.
Here are some of the most famous quotes from Star Wars. Okay. From all what is a 9 movie? Is it 9? Are they at 9 or are they at 10?
They're technically 3 trilogies.
There's 3 trilogies.
Yes. Yeah.
A trilogy.
I like it.
I do too. Made that up. Okay, so there's more than 10, but we're just going to do the top 10 quotes. Okay. And I want you to tell. I'm going to go from 10 to 1. Okay. I want you to tell me who said it, and if you can, bonus
which movie.
All
right, let's do it.
All right, number 10 comes here. Here's the quote. This will give it away. Okay, I won't.
You already got Darth Vader. I saw you putting your hand over your mouth.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Well, from that, I'm going to say first off, it's the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just go with Empire Strikes Back.
It's from A New Hope.
It is A New Hope.
Yeah.
Oh, that was my next guess.
It's when Vader flexes just a taste of his power. When a high-ranking Imperial officer, kind of, he says something about when, it's an ancient religion and kind of dismisses the Force, the power, and then he chokes him.
Right.
So here's that one. Okay, number 9. Okay, and I'll just do this. Rebellions are built on hope.
I mean.
Now, I will give you a hint.
Okay, give me a hint.
Because it's not part of the trilogies, but it was one of those.
Oh, is this from Rogue One?
It's from Rogue One.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
And my guess is it is from. I can't think of the character's name.
I don't know any of the characters.
Is it the dad of the girl?
It's Jyn Erso.
Yeah. Okay, so it's okay. Jyn Erso. Yeah.
So, anyways, we'll move on to the next one. And again, I didn't know this one either. I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me.
That's also Rogue One.
Yes, it is.
And it's from the blind character. I don't know his name.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're exactly right. Donnie Yen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got that. I'm going to give you full credit on that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 7. I love this one. It's a trap.
That's Admiral Akbar.
Yeah.
And that's from A New Hope, if I remember right.
Return of the Jedi.
Is it Return of the Jedi?
Yeah, Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi. It's when they're going into their final battle, and they all think they're sneaking up on the Death Star.
Yeah,
but the
Imperial
troops,
right there.
They kind of knew that they were coming. Yeah.
I love the way he says it. He's like, "It's a trap.
It's a trap." Yeah, I love it. Okay, this one's easy just because of how it's worded. Number 6, do or do not. There is no try.
Well, that's a Yoda quote.
We actually have that up in our building.
That's actually the quote above
us.
Our studio.
Yeah.
Well, Yoda's only in 2 movies of. Well, that's a lie. He's not in 2 movies because the trilogy, the second trilogy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that's from Empire Strikes Back.
It is from the Empire Strikes Back.
It's when he's training Luke.
Yep. Nice job. Okay, on to number 5. No, I am your father.
Also Empire Strikes Back, and that is Darth Vader.
Pretty easy,
yeah,
right
that was
there.
an easy one.
Pretty easy. Okay, here's one. Number 4.
Uh-huh.
I love you. I know. Hey, nice job.
That is Leia / Han at the end of Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Yep.
And let's see, on to number 3. Hello there.
Hello there. That is from the episode 3, whichever that one's called.
Yeah, episode 3.
I can't think of what it's called.
Revenge of the Sith.
Yes. And it's Obi-Wan.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Yep. Still, and again, I know people disagree with me. Revenge of the Sith, still probably my number 1 Star Wars movie.
Really?
Yeah, it really is. And I think the reason why the lightsaber fights were incredible.
Oh, especially in the lava.
Yes.
That was a fun one.
And it was a lead-in to the trilogy that I grew up with. So it was it answered a lot of questions, even though you kind of knew the answers, but you saw it visually.
But you still want to know, like,
And-
how did Anakin turn bad?
Yes.
Like, because he was so, he was supposed to be so good.
And people throw trash at me when I tell them this. They're like, no, Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi or yada, yada, yada. I'm
Trust
like,
me, there's a younger generation that also agrees with you.
I love Revenge of the Sith.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie. I like it.
All right, number 2. I have a bad feeling about this.
Everybody says that in every single movie. So I don't know which
Well,
one to pick.
It was
Leia says it when they're in the worm thing.
Yeah. It was first uttered by Luke Skywalker in A New Hope.
Yeah, it's
So-
like I said, it's literally in every single movie
And it
they
did.
say it.
It caught on. And
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard Han say it. And
Yeah.
yeah.
It's one of those that finds its way into all of them.
And number 1, the number 1 quote from all of the Star Wars movies, "May the Force be with you."
That is from,
And it's
kind of
pretty
anywhere.
much and everybody says it.
yeah, everyone says it in all the movies.
So anyways, yeah, I kind of
That's
found
a good
that.
one.
It was kind of fun.
That was a good one.
Takes you back into time a little bit and
Yeah.
talk
For
a
all
little
those Star Wars fans out there.
And who isn't a Star Wars fan? Come on. Even casual
Sure.
fans like you and I. I mean, like I said, I'm not a full-on nerd when it comes to Star Wars, but I'm a casual fan. When the movies come out, I'm usually there in the theater. Maybe not the first weekend, but probably the second or the third weekend. And
And
that
I will
kind of thing.
say, with some of the newer stuff, The Mandalorian was awesome. I love that
Now,
show.
I haven't watched the new season yet.
I also have not watched the new season. I've seen the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, me too.
That's a great show.
And I'm waiting for all of them to be out just so you can binge watch them.
Yeah, that's always nice.
And so they might be out. They might
be.
They
I
might
don't even
all
know.
be released. I'm not sure. I'll have to check my Disney
Yeah.
streaming service.
Yeah, I am not sure.
But yeah, it is.
Sure.
Yeah, first 2 seasons were great.
Yeah,
With
it's
that,
a fun
though.
one.
Yeah.
It's a fun show. Fun show indeed. Well, we do have some tickets we're going to be giving away later, so keep tuned in. We got some tickets we're going to be giving away in a bit for Kelsey Ballerini in concert.
Yeah.
We got some tickets.
Dude,
for
that
that.
is
It's gonna be a
coming
fun
up
time,
on
huh?
us very quickly.
Yeah, it is.
It is only a few weeks away, you guys.
It's
July 4th
fast.
is literally right around the corner.
That's right. Dude, do you know what's also right around the corner?
Man.
On Thursday, we're talking 2 days away, is the NBA draft.
Oh.
And I will say I've been following it closely. We'll talk about it. We'll probably have ourselves a good draft show, but it's been one of those things where I feel like it sneaks up on me. It doesn't matter how much research I do on the guys. And this
Yeah.
year I've done plenty just because there's 3 Jazz draft picks,
Right.
but it's still sneaking up on me. It's already this week. I'm so excited. Jazz have the 9th pick, which is their first pick. They have 2 other picks as well in the first round, but
Yeah.
but this is going to be an exciting one. And I'm hearing tons of buzz about the Jazz trading up to get that 5th pick from
Really?
Detroit.
Who are they going to try to go for? Like Cam Whitmore?
I'm
or-
hearing I'm hearing some arguments going on amongst different sports writers who all say different things. I would say they're going for Cam Whitmore.
Yeah.
I would say it's Cam Whitmore. I've heard Anthony Black is the name. I've heard of either one of the Thompson twins. Probably Asor Thompson would be the one that would go for. Either one of those 2 guys.
When you say Thompson twins, not the Thompson twins from the 80s, the music group.
No, Thompson
When you
twins.
said Thompson twins, that's
Did you just,
right
like,
where my brain
flashback?
went. Yes.
You're like,
Like Thompson twins.
No, we're talking
All
about
right.
a man and Asor Thompson.
I kind of figured.
Because you know what? Wembanyama's number 1 to the Spurs. We all know that's going to happen. Scoot's going to go number 2. But there's a solid top 9. So even if the Jazz keep number 9, it's possible things might shift around, and they still could end up with a Cam Whitmore or an Asor Thompson or something like that.
Right
so
now,
it's
I
a
have
variable.
Jalen Hood Shafino going number 9 to the Jazz.
That's not happening.
6'4", out of Indiana.
Nope.
Oh, so you're thinking you know more than this mock draft guy?
Yes. I'm just saying that that's not who they're going to go with.
Well, I think we need to call David Cobb right now at CBS Sports and get him on the phone. And you guys can go head to head.
Well, here's the thing. If you look at pick 5 and they do trade with Detroit, who's at pick 5?
Yeah,
Cam Whitmore.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, I think they would go with Cam Whitmore. I just don't think that they.
But if it goes chalk, I mean.
But that's just one person's opinion.
Yeah, I know.
It's one person's opinion. Honestly, I'd rather take Taylor Hendricks, who mock draft has at 10.
That mock draft has going to the Mavericks.
Yeah, I would rather have Taylor Hendricks at 9.
Are you saying that the Jazz need more help on the front line?
I mean, they kind of need help anywhere they can get help.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say with that pick specifically, I would want someone a little bigger. In my personal opinion. I would want someone just a little bit bigger for that pick.
6'4" point guard. That's not big enough for you?
I don't want a point guard.
Well, you got to have somebody running the offense.
Yeah, but I don't want a point guard with that pick.
Handling the ball.
I get that.
Seems like you're kind of, demeaning the position of the point guard. It's not
all.
as important as the power forward.
I just don't think they need a point guard with that.
Who do they have right there right now?
You have Colin Sexton, who's there right now. You have Jordan Clarkson, but Jordan Clarkson could potentially waive his options.
Yeah.
He's got the player option, which we haven't heard of yet. You have Ochai Agbaji, who's also he's a little bigger, though. He's not necessarily a point guard. But so you do have some guys there. I think that it's still a little open-ended at the point guard position. That's the problem with the Jazz roster right now is outside of Markkanen and Kessler, it kind of feels like anything is up for grabs at the moment. Sexton's really good, but I think he's probably better as your 6th man. Clarkson, I don't know if he sticks around. Personally, I really don't. I don't know if he's going to stick around or not. He might go try to find other options, other places. Another name that I really like that could be available is, and I can't ever say his name correctly, but he plays with Victor Wembanyama, is a French guy, Bilal Koulibaly.
Okay.
Koulibaly, we'll say. I don't know, something like that. Anyways, I like him. He's really fun.
Where do they have him going
This
right now?
mock draft has him at 20. I would not be surprised if a team takes him earlier than that. The Jazz have pick 16. I've seen him go as high as that pick at pick 16. So he could be pretty good around there. But again, that's another one of those that we'll just kind of have to wait and see. He's a 6'8" small forward. So he's another one that's going to be interesting.
It'll be interesting to see how this draft plays out. I mean, Wembanyama, he is literally one of the best prospects ever to be drafted. So this will be very interesting to see if he can live up to those expectations. Zion Williamson also, that was the 2019 draft was something. Zion was a can't miss prospect. Well, there's one thing that you can miss on, and that's that you can't count on. It's injuries.
Yeah.
I don't know of Victor Wembanyama's injury history, if he's prone to it. I haven't heard anything. I think he has been all right too. But again, when you're 7'4", what is these 240 pounds?
Which is actually not that heavy for a guy that's 7'4".
No, it's not.
That's a beanpole.
Which is that a good thing or a bad thing, though?
I don't know. Because you add on more weight, and sometimes weight can hinder. But who knows?
It'll be interesting.
You look at Rudy Gobert, who, by the way, looks tiny compared to Wembanyama. But when he had less weight, he got injured a lot more often than when he actually put on weight. So you don't know. By the way, I will say this. If Anthony Black, who is a point guard, is available at pick number 9, they'll get him. The Jazz would get him.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they trade up for Anthony Black, but he's going to be a solid point guard. He's the second point guard in the draft behind Scoot. So, I would take him. if he's available.
Out of Arkansas, freshman, 6'6", 210.
Yeah, he'd be a good one.
Right now they have this mock draft has him going number 8, just right before the Jazz pick at number 9. And again, they're going with Jalen Hood-Schifino. That's what
I just don't
Cobb
like that.
says.
I don't like that. I feel like there's a pretty consensus top 9, and so the fact that he switched it around on him there, I just don't know if I like that. But who knows? I do. The Jazz could use a point guard. Don't get me wrong. I just think that there's so much more talent in this draft in other positions, and sometimes you just have to draft to talent, especially with where the Jazz are right now. The Jazz have openings in nearly every single position, especially coming off the bench. So why not pressure a little bit more towards let's just draft the best available, right? I'm not saying that Hood-Schifino's not going to be good. It's just
I think
get the best available.
I think they're in that position to where they can draft the best person available at that spot. So I think they're in a great position to do that.
Yeah. So that's how I feel. But we'll see. I mean, they might surprise us. By the way, the Jazz are throwing a draft party, which is pretty cool. They're going to be in the Delta Center holding a draft party on Thursday, and free J-Dogs for anybody who wants to go as well, which is kind of cool at the arena. So that would be fun if you're going to be in Salt Lake on Thursday, or you want to go to Salt Lake on Thursday and watch the draft party in the arena with a bunch of other Jazz fans. Could be kind of a fun experience.
That would be a way fun experience.
So, yeah, anytime you can get together in the arena for a special event like that, it's going to be fun.
Are those free tickets?
I think it's free. I think it's just free to the public. I think it's just a party.
Well, let's give away a couple of tickets if they're free.
All right, done. Giving them away. You now have them, everybody.
No, but we do have some tickets to give away.
We do have some tickets to give away.
And they're not free. These have cash value for sure.
And the cash value is like $40-something dollars,
like,
45, 47, something like that. I don't remember the exact price, but you can get them online on the fansportsnetwork.com.
Yep.
We do have some available over there. But Kelsey Ballerini tickets. I got a pair of tickets for somebody, and all you have to do is beat Mark in a game.
That should be pretty easy.
So we'll see how that goes. So we're going to head to the break. When we come back, get on those phone lines, 435-990-9950. Call up the line. And
one more time.
435-990-9950. Take on Mark, win some tickets for Kelsey Ballerini. Coming up.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show From the Bleachers live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine, not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Hey, Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Caden Formaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know, and we have a caller on the line, called in just in the nick of time. Who we got on the line here?
Hey, this is Carson McKim. This is a first-time caller, long-time listener. Thanks for taking my call, guys.
I absolutely love that. Well, Carson, thanks for calling into the Fan Sports Network. We got a little game here for some Kelsey Ballerini tickets. Obviously, you know who she is, right, Cars?
Of course I do.
Fantastic.
That's right. That's very good. Well, Carson, here's how this goes, okay? So I'm going to give you 4 teams, okay? Each of these teams won a championship in the same year. If you can tell me what year that was, then you can get some tickets. Mark's going to try to take a stab at it as well, so I'm going to let you guys go back and forth till you get the right year here.
Whoever gets closest. I say whoever gets closest.
You want to say whoever
wins.
gets closest? All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to go NBA, NHL, NFL, and MLB. I'm going to give you 4 different teams. All of them won a championship in this year.
Okay.
You got to tell me the year.
Oh, boy.
All right, here we go. NBA, it was the Dallas Mavericks.
Okay.
For the NHL, it was the Boston Bruins. The NFL was the New York Giants. And the MLB was the St. Louis Cardinals. Can you tell me the year?
I have a year in mind.
Okay.
Ooh.
Carson, what are you
That's a tough
thinking?
one. Oh, it's got to be, I don't know, I'm thinking 2010?
It's a pretty good guess, Mark.
2010 for the only reference I know is the Mavs, and I think there's a 2010, 2011 maybe.
Okay. 2010, 2011, maybe. Mark, what were you kind of thinking?
And see, my reference was going on the Giants, but they won a couple of them. They won a couple Super Bowls, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking like 2013 was the first year that came into my head was 2013.
2013. Well, I am proud to say that, Carson, you win. The answer was 2011. You were off by just a year, but you said maybe 2011, so I'm going to let you have it.
Oh, Carson.
Thanks for the gimme. I appreciate it.
I'll give you the gimme for sure. Well, I'll get you a pair of tickets. You can come pick them up over here at Canyon Media, and I'll get you your name on a slip, Carson.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Carson. Appreciate it, man. Congrats, dude.
All right.
All right, there you go. Carson wins the pair of Kelsey Ballerini tickets. And this is a game we're probably going to play a little bit more of, too. This is a fun one. So if you want to win some prizes, this is a game that we're going to probably play for across the summer every so often to try to win some prizes.
Yeah.
So that's tough, though, isn't it?
That was a tough one,
that's
yeah.
Tough. Dallas Mavericks was kind of the gimme. If you knew when that one was, because they did only win the one championship with Dirk.
Yeah.
And it was in 2011. If you could remember that, then then
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That one was the gimme for
For
sure.
some reason, the first year that popped into my head was 2013.
It's
And
close.
It's close, but
It's close.
not close enough.
Who won in 2013 in the NBA? Off the top of your head, can you guess?
No. The Heat.
I think it was the Heat. I'm going to double check it, but
Heat, Spurs.
maybe it was the Spurs actually.
Wasn't the Warriors yet, right?
You know what? I think it was the Spurs.
Because the Warriors didn't really start their run until
It's either Spurs or the Heat. Who was it?
15-ish? Or when did the Golden State Warriors start with their run?
It was
the
Heat.
Heat.
Yep, it was the Heat.
Because when did the Warriors start their run with Curry?
2016.
I think in
Yeah.
2015, right
Something like
around
that.
there.
Something like that.
So they hadn't started to make their run yet. Lakers had kind of been done already. You know, Kobe was in his last couple of years.
Yeah.
You know, so it wasn't the Lakers. It had to been either the Spurs or the Heat, and we've decided it was the Heat, right?
Yep. 2013 NFL. Here's the thing. It depends on how you look at it. The 2013 season, it was the Seahawks, but actually in 2013 it was the Ravens. If that makes sense.
Oh, because the Super Bowl.
Because the Super Bowl
season
later
versus the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, that kind of gives you some ideas for maybe a future ticket giveaway.
Yeah.
It's tough. NHL, I'm sure you're like, that's just push that to the side.
I
don't know.
no idea with NHL. Although I want to be a bigger NHL fan.
We'll get you there. This will help.
I mean, Vegas Golden Knights winning certainly helps. I want to know more about the NHL, and I want to become a much bigger fan than I am right now.
Yeah, you might as well. Dude, I will say this. With the Vegas Golden Knights, their run in the finals against Florida, I may not have caught every second of every game, but I was able to catch every game.
Yeah.
I was able to watch all 5 games from that series, and it was fun. That was such a good series.
Mm-hmm.
They outscored Florida, by the way, throughout the series by 19 goals.
Oh, yeah. It was a blowout.
It was a blowout of a series. It was the biggest blowout of a series in all of the NHL playoffs. The final round of the playoffs was the biggest blowout.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It is.
That's insane.
No question about it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Which, by the way, the Seattle Kraken, who won their first series, they actually won it with less goals than their opponent.
Which we have all kind of come to the conclusion that the Seattle Kraken, they win for the coolest sports name.
Yeah, they get the coolest name easily.
Although, I mean, Vegas Golden Knights is cool. But Seattle Kraken, that verges on bitching.
It's pretty good.
It's a good one.
And their logo's sweet, too. Their logo's pretty sweet.
Can I say that on the radio?
You already did. I don't know if you can, but you already did.
Yeah.
So we'll just pretend it didn't happen if you can't. Yeah, so there you have it. Yeah, able to give away a couple tickets today. That's always fun.
Yeah.
That's always fun. So, well, we got tickets given away. We've talked a little baseball today. We've talked a little basketball. I will say this is that weird time of year, Mark, where there's just not a lot going on. Like I said, we have the NBA draft this week.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking that leading up to it. There's only so much you can say, though, until it happens.
Maybe we'll do our little mock draft tomorrow, talk about where people could go, some possible trades, and things like that.
Yeah, for sure. The NBA right now at the off season, there's always going to be interesting storylines that pop up. Like we've had the John Morant stuff. We've talked about that. We have the trade that already went down. And by the way, there's going to be a lot more trades as we get a little bit closer to the draft. Really, draft day is when the trades happen because people don't want to show their hand until it's ready.
Yeah.
So we'll get a bunch of trades going on Thursday. That's going to mean Friday's show is going to be very interesting.
Well, maybe, being that we are entering this time of year, maybe we just kind of get our artificial intelligence, Caden and Mark. Now, have you heard this, though?
What?
So the first AI radio host hits the airwaves They hit the airwaves in Oregon last week.
So you're telling me
Her name-
AI's coming after our jobs
Yes,
now too?
yes, exactly. AI Ashley is the name of this artificial intelligence. So here's a little story on it. AI Ashley is based on a real host named Ashley Z. Elzinga at a station in Portland, Oregon. That's KBFF Live 95.5 FM. They cloned her voice for it. Now, here's how it works. Now, they're doing kind of a hybrid situation where the real Ashley will host some of the segments, and then AI Ashley, who sounds just about identical, will host others. And she's being featured from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day. Now, when AI Ashley is on, the real Ashley will be doing things like community reach, managing social media, working on digital assets, and doing some of
So
other
basically,
elements
the
of her
back end
job.
work of radio that
But they've cloned her voice, and she'll be able to be doing. Anyway, I don't know how it all works, but yeah, they're coming
do you
after.
think that's a good idea, or do you kind of like do you think it's not going to work?
I think there will be a spot for it, but I don't like anything that takes away jobs.
I mean, it sounds like she's just doing it as a way to boost her productivity.
Yeah.
Which, if that's the case, great. But what if it does get to the point where you can't tell the difference between an AI voice and a regular person on the radio?
Yeah. It'll be strange. It'll. I mean, you and I, we're in the radio business, and we see kind of the radio magic is what we call it, you know. But yeah, having an AI voice that sounds like one of your co-host, sounds like your host, and it's gonna be artificial intelligence. I don't know, but I don't like anything that takes away jobs, though.
Yeah, and I just don't think I don't think it would last.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you have to have personality.
You do.
AI just doesn't have personality.
That's one thing that it doesn't have. I mean, I don't think, anyways.
Unless I don't know, can you program personality? AI just blows my mind.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking Allen Iverson.
No. Talking practice.
We're talking about practice, right?
Yeah, that's a good AI right there.
Now that's the kind of AI we want in the studio with us.
That's right. That's the AI we want for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's just it's interesting. It really does blow my mind with what they're able to come up with nowadays with AI. So it's interesting.
And apparently Ashley, the real Ashley's getting paid the same. So she hasn't taken a
She's
pay
not-
decrease.
She's not losing anything.
She's not losing anything. And she's, part of the developer of this AI Ashley. So it'll just be interesting to see how far this goes. I mean, we've got, we all know that I am like totally into this AI, the chat GPT stuff and all that. It's just so much fun to kind of play around with, but it's coming.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence. Isn't there a movie with Will Smith, AI?
iRobot.
Oh, is that iRobot?
Yep.
Takes
iRobot.
over the world. Tries
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, pretty much. We're talking about the NBA draft a little bit, and around the draft, there's always rumors and trades and all sorts of stuff, right? So let's I want to dive into just a few of these, Mark, a few of these rumors, and if there is merit to them, what will that mean for some of those franchises and more? So one of those rumors right now is Damian Lillard to the Heat. Most recently, what I saw as well was the offer would include, in the flip-flop, would be Bam Adebayo to Portland. Now, is that good or is that bad for Miami? What's that look like for Portland? I think Miami's the winner out of that deal. I know that Dame is getting older, but Bam just did not play great in the finals. He struggled.
And Dame might be getting older, but he is still a top-tier...
He's a top-tier guard.
Guard, for sure.
Absolutely.
So I do think that the Heat would be the winners in that as well.
Yeah. So that's kind of one of those things that I'm seeing right now. So we'll see what plays out with that. A few other names that are being kind of thrown into that mix are Shaedon Sharpe, Anthony Simons, as being possible trade assets to go along with some of those other names, like we mentioned with Lillard and Adebayo. And then you have like what we talked about before with Detroit, right? Is Detroit open to just shifting down the ladder a little bit? Well, because really the talk is that, yeah, Utah has a lot of trade assets.
Yeah, they do.
So they really could easily move up. Maybe they say, hey, we'll give you pick number 9, move down the ladder 4 spots. They've had some great picks. Detroit has some amazing picks over the last few years. They had the number 1 pick just recently, obviously. So for them, I feel like they could pick up who they need at that 9 spot pretty easily. Obviously, the 5 spot's nice, but if you throw in a trade asset of, hey, we'll give you a first-round pick and we'll give you the number 9 pick right now, or even a second-round pick later, whatever. I don't know. Somehow sweeten the deal. Maybe they'll even throw in a player.
Yeah.
Maybe they do. I don't know. Would they be willing to throw in? Because I did hear Colin Sexton is on the trade block for the Jazz. Would they go Colin Sexton and number 9, trade up to 5, and maybe they do go for an Anthony Black and try to get a point guard? I don't know. That's not what I would do, but maybe that would be on their mind. Just a thought.
Yeah.
They're willing to move up. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit of some talk as well. And then with Chris Paul going to Washington, does he stay in Washington? What does Washington do with this new move as well? Are they willing to option him out and see what's on the market for Chris Paul? Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? So this is going to be an interesting week for the NBA.
Yeah, it will be. It'll be interesting to, make sure your Twitter notifications are on because it's going to be going crazy. If not starting tomorrow, certainly on Thursday.
Yeah, for sure. Can I tell you what my draft day, and I know we talked about this last year, the draft day party that we always do every single year, it's become a tradition, is on draft day, it's draft and pizza. Pretty simple, but it's become such a big thing for me, for specifically for my older brother, where we just love the draft that much, where we just, it's pizza and draft day. It's just become another one of those rotations into our big sports events.
And when you say draft, you mean the NBA draft?
Yes, specifically the NBA draft.
I thought maybe it was just pizza and beer.
No,
it's a draft.
Yeah, that's actually, maybe not a bad idea. I'm not a beer drinker, and neither is he. But maybe that's not a bad idea.
I just wanted to clarify that's what you were pushing.
Yeah, beer, but that's actually not a bad way to put it. Is pizza and draft, and someone's probably just thinking, "Oh, you guys are having pizza and beer. Good for you."
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No, pizza and the NBA draft.
Yeah.
No, it's a good way to do it. So it's just become one of those days that's just part of the routine now. Every single year, there's big days. You have your Super Bowl. You have your NBA Finals. You have your World Series.
What time
is your draft day?
What time does the draft tip off on Thursday?
I believe. Let me double check. It's either 5 or 6. Yep, it is 5 Pacific, so 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock our time.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. So should be fun. I mean, I already know who's going in the first spot, the second spot, and probably the third spot. So really, until we get to that 4th pick, it's going to be kind of chalk. It's going to be pretty obvious who's going.
Oh,
there.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we'll see how that ends up, though. So, all right, let's take a break, shall we? And when we return, we'll wrap up the show next here on From the Bleachers. Stick around.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show, From the Bleachers, live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine, not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in Southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
It is from the Bleachers here on the Fan Sports Network, broadcasting out of the Findlay Hyundai studio. King Fourmaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
Welcome back into the show, everybody, here on this Tuesday, 20th of June. Mark, we are one day away from my half birthday.
Oh, you keep track of that?
No, I just thought about it. Literally just now as I was talking about it.
I wouldn't even know when mine is.
When's your birthday? May?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it would be November 20th.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Is that right? May 20th, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, I'm a
You're
good friend.
Not bad. You are. You're a good co-host.
I remember your birthday.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I remember your birthday now. I didn't remember your birthday the day of. It was state baseball. We had a million things going on. And it wasn't until the drive home where I was like, crap, it's Mark's birthday.
Yeah, you and Devin were like, dang it. We
didn't do anything.
Yeah.
It was one of those days.
I cried all the way to Nephi.
They forgot about me.
Yeah. Hey, I just ran across a story on CBSSports.com talking about Wembanyama. Now, he is going right now. He is like one of the highest prospects ever.
Yeah.
To be drafted. I mean, we're talking guys like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Kobe Bryant. I mean, I don't even know if Kobe falls into this category.
Kobe probably doesn't. He wasn't a first-round pick.
But
or first pick of the draft.
Yeah, not first pick of the draft. But, he's got some really high and lofty expectations, right?
Yep.
I just ran across a story on CBSSports.com that says, hey, there's 3 reasons why we need to kind of control ourselves and these lofty expectations for Wembanyama.
Okay.
Number 1, durability and strength. Okay. It says here, the major selling point for Wembanyama is that we've never seen a player at his height move the way that he does.
That's true.
And that could also be a negative. He's 7'4", 240, and he runs the floor like a gazelle. It'll be interesting to see how that body holds up against an NBA season doing what he does.
Right, for sure.
So, keep an eye on that. And to answer our question a little bit earlier, he has had a healthy career so far. Like, he is not injury prone at the level of basketball that he's played so far. So far, so good. He doesn't have that history, but now he's going up against much bigger, stronger men than he has, so far. Number 2 is 3-point shooting. Wembanyama, now he can be an all-NBA All-Star without ever making a single three-pointer. But what takes him to the next level offensively is his ability to knock down threes, both off the dribble and off the catch. At 7'4", now we've seen the one-legged three-pointer step back with defenders draped all over him, but he made just 27.5% of his three-pointers. Now, he can make them, but can he make them consistently? We've seen, question. Like you said, we've seen the step-back three. We've seen the one-legged ones. And he'll make those occasionally, and those are the ones that make the highlight reel. But he only made 3-pointers at a 27.5% clip.
That's not.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And number 3, this was it'll be the Scoot Henderson comparison. Okay.
Sure.
So it's
two completely different players.
But there's multiple cases throughout NBA history of number 1 picks, despite having solid to very good careers, being overshadowed by the player taking after them. Examples, DeAndre Ayton and Luka Doncic.
Yes.
Andrew Wiggins, Joel Embiid. Blake Griffin, Steph Curry. Andrew Bogut, Chris Paul.
Poor Andrew Bogut.
So it's just interesting to see how that will go. And I would even say Michael Jordan, Sam Bowie.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Hakeem went first, but he had I mean,
Hakeem had a great career, but he didn't have a Michael Jordan career.
Yeah, he didn't have a Michael Jordan career. Gosh, it's tough for me to say that Hakeem was overshadowed by Michael Jordan, but
but
how can you not?
Overshadowed everyone else in that draft class?
Yeah,
except for Michael.
I mean, it was the number 2 pick that looks really, really bad when you take Sam Bowie over Michael Jordan. Oh, the Portland Trailblazers. Anyway,
poor
just kind of interesting.
Man.
So, anyways, just kind of want to bring that up. When somebody has first off, a 19, 20-year-old. I mean, how old is this guy? 19, 20?
Yeah, he's young. He's 19.
To have these type of expectations is pretty crazy. Really, the only person that's lived up to those lofty expectations is really King James.
Yeah. I mean, think about Zion Williamson, who had tons leading up through his time at Duke and into the draft, and he just hasn't been there. And not to mention all the drama he's got going on right now. I don't know if you've seen any of that, but he's got baby mama drama.
Oh, boy.
And that's always
yikes.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to dive into all that because I'm not going to lie.
That's for another show.
That in itself is...
Maybe not from the Bleachers show either.
Probably not From the Bleachers. Maybe that's when you tune into satellite radio.
Maybe we need to come up with a show, the Fan Sports Network, After Dark.
Cliche. Come on, you could do better.
All right. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but anyways, he's got his own drama going on right now.
Right.
It's just, it's messy, but... Yeah, that's a good point. How many guys go first and then they were overshadowed? Is Wembanyama, though, one of those like a LeBron James where he goes first and deservedly so goes first?
Yeah, and then in 15 years, he's in the argument of the GOAT. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Wembanyama.
We just don't know.
Kobe Bryant.
Too early. People thought that about Zion, right? They thought that he would be one of these guys where he's going to be LeBron level.
Yeah.
And I will say, I think he's always had that potential, but the injuries hold him back. Mm-hmm. Mentality holds him back, too. LeBron has that mentality on the court of, I'm just going to go out there and play my game and be the best I can be. Kobe had that mentality.
Yeah.
Jordan had that mentality. I don't think Williamson has that mentality.
Not yet, he doesn't.
He's got to have the killer instinct in him. He just doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some players, I'd say, in the league right now that are good enough. I'd say Luka's even one of those. I just don't think he has the mentality for it. I feel like he's just kind of like having fun. He's there to have fun, which is fine.
Have fun, collect a big old paycheck.
You're not going to win championships that way.
Yeah.
But you know what? LeBron, I think, has had moments where he's there to have fun, and he has moments where he's like, I'm here to win championships.
Well, and especially, too, back in the Cleveland days, the first stint with Cleveland,
He was just showing off.
He always had
being flashy.
Well, the media kind of labeled him as a guy that can't hit the big shot. He's always passing, but that was his game, though. I think he got some really unnecessary criticism that way because everybody wanted him to be Michael Jordan, but his game was way more similar to Magic Johnson than it was to Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
He was a bigger guard, physical, great vision, great passer. His game really is closer to Magic Johnson's than it is Michael Jordan's. So it's just one of those. I thought he got unnecessary criticism at that time, and then it kind of grew. Then he went to Miami and he, joined the Big Three there.
Yeah,
kind of formed the Big Three, and then he did take criticism that I thought was necessary when he, has that big ESPN special where he's announcing where he's going. He's not going to win 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. That was...
And they won, 3?
That was irritating.
Yeah.
So that was definitely some criticism that was necessary. But he has gone on to be, again, even the fact that you're in the argument being the GOAT, that's pretty impressive.
You're a top 3
player. I mean, you're in the argument.
You're a top 10 athlete in the world.
And it will never be decided.
No.
So we're going to argue every day on Sports Talk Radio for the end of time, and it will never be decided of actually who is the GOAT.
Do you know what? Every 20 to 30 years, we're going to add another person to that conversation, too.
Exactly.
So, which, by the way, speaking of LeBron, have you seen there's a show out on Peacock right now called Shooting Stars? Have you heard about this?
I don't think I have.
It is the story of LeBron James and his friends in high school as they become the best basketball team in high school.
Oh, really? Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah. So if you have Peacock, I haven't seen it. I just saw some previews and stuff for it. It's $5 a month, by the way. So if you want to watch it, maybe go get a $5
and then this is $5, and then that's $5.
Well, just do it for a month and watch the show.
Before you know it, you have $160 and $5.
It's true. Hey, do you have Netflix?
I do, yes.
Okay, so there's another one on Netflix that is coming out. I just barely saw a trailer for it recently called Quarterback. And it's an NFL documentary about NFL quarterbacks.
Oh, really?
Specifically, it was following like Mariota. It was following Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins. Over this last season. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I don't know when that one's supposed to air.
I understand why they chose Patrick Mahomes, but why Mariota and Kirk Cousins?
I don't know, man. I don't know. But I do know that they're some of the ones that are featured in this, or those 3 specifically. So maybe they didn't want to feature all of them because if you feature all of them in one season, who do you have for the next season, right? They probably just want to have someone else for the next season lined up. So
that could be
a few of those. So yeah, always good shows to stream. I'm a big show guy. I like watching shows. That's what I do when I get home is I watch TV.
We've been watching SWAT.
It's an older show, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, not like old.
Not old, but like 2015 through.
Yeah, like it's been out a while.
Yeah.
It's not like brand new yet.
Yeah, it's good. We've been enjoying it.
That's good.
Again, kind of feels our Criminal Minds type of
similar
show.
Similar thing going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, I wanted to wrap up with this because I'm sure you've heard about it, but it's kind of the talk of the world right now. Is that group that went to go look for a Titanic in the little mini submarine?
Oh, right.
And they got lost.
Right.
Did you hear? I'm sure you've heard about this. Everyone's been talking about it.
It's
a crazy story, isn't it?
I just saw something just earlier today on it. I didn't read it, though.
Yeah, basically, a bunch of people paid $250,000 to get into this capsule to go down, which, by the way, the capsule was being controlled by like an off-brand PlayStation 2 controller.
Okay.
So you know that it was high dollar stuff, right? You know, they're paying over $1 million collectively to go down there. Well, they lose contact with the home ship up top, and yeah, they've been lost for a couple days now. So it's kind of
Wow.
insane. Nothing like this has really ever happened with a homemade submarine. I wouldn't say it's homemade, but yeah,
Yeah,
this
that's
this
crazy.
company, I guess, does voyages to see the Titanic.
Yeah,
So,
the vessel is steered by an Xbox controller. What?
yeah, that sounds
Who does
made up
that?
almost, but
Oh.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. All right, we're wrapping it up here. Thanks for joining us on the show today here on the Fan Sports Network. We'll be with you again tomorrow, so stay tuned in to the Fan Sports Network. Drive at 7 o'clock, and we'll be back here at 4.
Nachos time.
Nachos. I love it.